know, I've known Andrea now for probably almost close to 20 years now. It's kind of funny, we almost started our careers really at the same time. And you know, in 1997, he was working for Todd Bergen and John Slack and on the West Coast, and I came over to America and kind of started my horsemanship career.
You know, the first time that I met Clinton was in Oregon. I was working for Todd Bergen at the time. I remember Clinton and a friend of his coming down the barn, and they came down to the arena to watch me riding, and I was there. And I remember I was getting in the middle of this horse. I was young and a little bit crazier than what I am right now. Things weren't going the way I wanted them to go, and we were just probably jumping and leaping in the air. I remember exactly the horse it was. It wasn't a fun one, but I remember when I first saw Clinton coming close to me, I just kind of smoothed it all out and just tried to lope some nice, funny circles that everything looked good. And first thing that Clinton looked at me and said, he didn't really introduce himself. He just told me that to keep doing what I was doing before, because he thought I was in the middle of a training session, and he came down to learn something about training, not to watch how nice my horse could lope circles. And from that day, we kind of became really good friends, and more than friends, we just have a lot of respect for each other. He's the type of person that just wants to learn, and that's why you guys have gotten a lot out of it. He's not the typical clinician that's out there to show you how good he is on a horse, but he's the type of clinician that wants you to get better at what you do on a horse.
Obviously, we went different directions. I went the horsemanship route, teaching, and he went the competitive route. Andrea's won the NRHA Futurity 3 times. He's won multiple world championships. You know, he's won over $4 million in competing on reining horses. So it'd be safe to say that he's the elite or the best of the best at training a reining horse. I've been very successful in what we do. You know, the method of Downunder Horsemanship is the most widely used training program in the world now. You can go to any country and you'll see my tack, you'll see my training method, etc. So I'm very proud of what I've accomplished, as Andrea is very proud of what he's accomplished as well.
He leaves the ugly in there, it doesn't cover up stuff, and that's why I think we've always got along. You know, we're pretty straight shooters. It takes a special person to expose everything to his customers and to the people that are coming to be an audience, and to just be that kind of honest person. Second thing that we need to make sure that we have solid on our horse is once we get into the turnaround, we need to be able to speed up that turnaround without the horse leaving that turn. It's related to what we already done for the start, so I don't feel that you don't need to probably spend quite as much time speeding the horse up, because I feel that if you've done your good job at starting the turnaround, it's probably not going to be that hard. If the horse already knows how to spin fast during the training program, I don't think you're going to have to spend too much time preparing him to go fast when you go show. Because really the same cues that I use to go fast are the same cues that I use to start the turn. So if I've done my job right and my horse is solid about starting that turn, when I put more cue on him to speed him up, he's going to be there. I would say that one thing I'm going to keep in mind with Titans is he can't hear me. I can't really use my voice to speed him up. And that doesn't mean that I use it on every other horse either. There's some horses that really react well to the clucking or the kissing in the turnaround, and there's some horses that I feel, actually more horses than not, that for my program don't react quite as well. And by that I mean that when they hear you clucking or kissing, they almost try too hard and they miss a step or they jump too hard. I want that turn to be smooth just as much as it's fast. So sometimes I may even give away a little bit of the speed to make sure that that turnaround stays smooth. For my style of reining, and I believe Clinton's and anybody that's on top, you want to make sure that you go fast but you're smooth at the same time. You're not going to give up any correctness just because you want to go fast or you want your horse to go fast. So if I don't use my voice, I'm going to use mainly my outside leg to speed my horse up, and that's what we're going to do with Titan. We're going to put him in a turnaround, and then we're going to ask him to speed up with my outside leg, and I'm not going to help him too much with my hand. My hand is going to stay a little bit over the neck, meaning that I'm going to have a little bit of neck rein on him, but I'm not going to be pulling him on his face to keep him in that turnaround. If I have to pull him here at home when I go show him, I'm going to have to really pull him, and that's not going to be pretty. If the horse doesn't speed up, then I'm going to take him out of the turn and get him off my leg a little bit more. Meaning that I'm going to ask him to speed up with my leg. If he's not speeding up, he's telling me he's not respecting my leg hard enough or good enough. So instead of getting after him in that turn, I'm going to take him out of the turnaround and get after him outside the turnaround. I want that turnaround to be a good place, just like we were concentrating on making sure that the center of the arena is a good place for him. that turnaround has to be a good place for him. If he's not thinking that the turnaround is good, if he's thinking when he gets to turn around, we're gonna get after him, what's his brain gonna tell him? Well, leave that turn, because that turn is not a good place to be. If that horse is thinking leaving the turn, that's never a good thing, especially when you go show. So I'm gonna make him leave the turn and get after him when he leaves that turn. So in his mind, he's gonna be, boy, if I stay in the turn, he's gonna leave me alone. If I go out of that turn, that's probably not gonna be a good place to be. So we're gonna use some of that reverse thinking that Clinton uses so much, same way to prepare Titan to go show. I'm gonna start my turnaround, outside leg, took a step forward. If I don't have a good start, that means that that horse is not gonna turn good. Now I have a good start, he started turning good. I'm gonna use a little outside leg and I'm gonna speed him up. When I speed him up right now, he's thinking forward, right? So I'm gonna wait and see what he does. He's thinking forward, I'm gonna wait. This is the time to stop him and say, no, come back where you need it to be. It'll be easy for me to pick him up and put him back in position, but I really want him to concentrate on that position on his own. He's just not focused right now. It's up to us to get him focused. He's not focused because I'm talking to you for 5 minutes and then I'm starting the maneuver. That's what's gonna happen when I go show. I'm not gonna be able to prepare him right before that turnaround. So this is an ideal situation and I'm gonna find out what I've got that needs to get better for going and showing. Put my outside leg. This time when I put my outside leg, I felt him staying back and speeding up. I'm gonna shut him off and tell him that's good, that's all I wanted. What I'm really careful and what I really pay attention on is making sure that if the horse does something right, I don't keep doing it. And that's one thing that I noticed a lot of people that I think they run into trouble. They may work 10 minutes on the turnaround and then the horse finally does it good and they keep turning. So how's that horse gonna know the difference between doing it right and doing it wrong? My big thing is that I'm gonna keep asking you until you do it right. When you do it right, I'm gonna leave you alone. Hopefully, in the long run, you're gonna figure out that if you do it right all the time, there's not gonna be much work to be done. Let's test the other side. I'm thinking the other side will be a little bit worse as it was for the start. Open the leg, get him in the turn. Now outside leg, speed him up. Actually felt pretty good. This is what I'm looking for, that I can press that leg and that horse speeds up and stays in position. Once I have this, I can work on maybe another 100 things that could probably get a little bit better in this turnaround. But if I don't have it, these couple little important things, there's no point for me to move forward.
Hey mate, I hope you enjoyed the training session today with Andre Fapani and Titan. We'll see you next week, mate.